They're still both adamant it wasn't them, and at least one of them, I'm pretty sure it couldn't have been them anyway, so that's fun. Hi friends, it is Johnny back with another video, and today it is time for another story time. Again, ignore the hair. I can't find my hat. Yes, these are all filmed in the same day. What did you think happens? Do you think I film them individually day by day? No, I film in advance. So you're stuck with the void. You're stuck with the curls. You're stuck with the nest on my head. Anyway, today I want to tell you the story of the doppelgangers in my old house. Fun times. So I feel like I've mentioned how haunted my old house was multiple times by this point, you know? I've mentioned the Shad Man. So it should come as no surprise when I say that there were doppelgangers in my old house. It wasn't a regular occurrence, like it wasn't like a every other day thing, at least not physically. Vocally is a different story. There were plenty of times that we would hear somebody call us that either A, wasn't home, or B, didn't call us at all. So like I would hear mom call my name and I'd come out of my room to find out that she's still not home, or she's asleep on the sofa, something like that. It's happened to mom, it's happened to dad, it's happened to my sister, it's happened to me. It's happened to my cousin and everybody else that lived upstairs as well. Like, we've heard people call our names and there was no one there to have called it, or no one called it, period. Now, physically, it's happened to me. I don't know if it happened to anybody else, but it's happened to me twice. Earlier on, when we were living there, before the fire, before the house got shifted around, like where rooms were, our living room was close to the front of the house. And there's a side door that led straight out to the outside hallway that led to the stairs that would go up to my aunt's apartment. When you would go up the stairs, there would be my aunt's apartment, the first door, but there was also a like walkway that you could walk down, and there was a door above like where the front door was that would lead to our computer room. And next to the computer room door was a ladder to the roof. There's a little platform where the ladder was to go up to the roof. So, because of the platform, there was a little like ledge over the staircase that my cousin would regularly like grapple onto and like hang upside down from looking like Spider-Man. It was just something fun he would do. So one night, to me now it's not late considering it's like 3:30 right now, but it must have been probably 1 in the morning, something like that. I was hanging out in the living room watching TV because the living room TV was bigger than my TV, and my bedroom was connected to the living room at the time. So I can easily just like make all the noise I wanted in the living room and no one would be bothered. I was either watching TV or playing a game, I forget which, but there was a knock on the hallway door. That usually meant that one or all the cousins that lived upstairs wanted to hang out with me. So I opened the door and no one was at the front door. I look up the stairs and I see my cousin hanging from his ledge. Issue is, he was hanging from the ledge upside down the other way. The reason that that's an issue is because there was nothing to grab onto. It was just a flat surface on the opposite side. He would grab onto the ledge of like the overhang with his finger grip. So whenever he would hang upside down, he would be facing up the stairs whenever he, did it. This time, however, he was looking down the stairs at me. And looking back at it, that is impossible. There's nothing to grip onto from that angle. But I didn't put two and two together, at least not at that time. So he's looking at me and he gives me like a creepy smile, just like a... Then he like jumps down and flips and lands on his feet and then runs back up the stairs. I don't hear the door close or anything, so I just thought he left it open. But I thought he was being real creepy, and I was like, if he had something to say, he's just gonna come back down and knock again and stop being weird. So I closed and locked the door to the living room again, and went back to like playing my game and ignoring that. He never came back down, none of the other ones came down that night, so I was like, okay, whatever. The next day I go upstairs, he's not home. He gets home a little later that night, so I'm thinking, he must have gone to work or something like that, He's like 6 years older than me, so he had one of those like youth jobs that they allow 15 and 16-year-olds to do so long as they have like written consent from their school and their parents. So he had one of those, and he comes in, and I'm like, why were you so creepy last night? Why didn't you just say what you wanted to say? And he's like, what are you talking about? I wasn't even here last night. I'm like, yeah, you were. And I explained what he did. And he's like, Johnny, that's not possible, because I do. And again, like I said, he grabs on at the edge with his fingers. And the other way, doing it facing the opposite side, there's nothing to grab onto, so that's not possible for him to have done. And I'm like, but it was you. You did that, and then you jumped down and ran back up the stairs. he told me that he really didn't do that because he wasn't even home last night. I forget where he was. He was either at like his father's, a friend's, or his girlfriend's. One of the three. I forget where, but the point is he wasn't home. So I was like, oh, that's creepy. And I thought he was lying to me because, you know, he's the kind of cousin that will make creepy stories up to scare you. At least he used to be. He's the cousin that told me that his mother was an alien, if you look back at that old story time. If that gives you any kind of idea of like what kind of prankster he was when we were younger. So now I know it's not him, and I'm creeped out because obviously I know by this point that it's not the first creepy thing that's happened in the house. Now we fast forward. This is after the fire. This is probably a year or two before we moved to Florida. So quite a few years later. I was hanging out in the living room, and it was late at night. It was probably like 2 or 3 in the morning. And I realized that I had forgotten my cup in my room. So I ran over to get my cup. As I come back out of my room, my sister's leaving her room. But she's not acting herself. Even half asleep, this ain't her. Like, I see her half asleep and I know that's not her. My sister comes out of the room moving like very like disjointed, like very like almost robotic in a way, like I don't know what word to use other than a musical term, staccato, where the music moves like this, you know, like it's very bop, 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 bop. That's how she like moved, like kind of like that in a way. And so she was creeping me out. I'm like, are you okay? And she just doesn't speak like herself either. She's just like, I just need use bathroom. And I'm like, okay. And she like eerily like walks into the bathroom and like closes the door behind her. And I'm like, is she okay? Then she comes out of the bathroom and she just looks at me very eerily and she's like, good night. And she like back into her room. And like I quickly opened the door behind her and she was in bed. And she has a loft bed, so there's no way she climbed that ladder that quickly. But my logical brain was still active, so I'm like, maybe she just ran into bed trying to freak me out because she was being so weird. The next morning, I find out that she hadn't even woken up that night. And my sister isn't one to tell like stories to like freak you out or anything like that, so I knew she wasn't lying. I was just real confused on why that was the thing that happened, you know? Why did that happen? And why was it so creepy? It was very like marionette, like puppet vibes to it. It was very creepy. Neither of those were the first nor the last creepy thing that happened in the house, unfortunately. So I have more creepy stories from that house. Hell, I'm gaining creepy stories from this house. Fun times. But yes, I hope you guys enjoyed this story because I really enjoyed telling it. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe, and bing bong the ding dong down below to be alerted when I make a new video. And until next time, why not check out some of my other stuff? I have some more story time, some fever dreams, some Floridaman, some randomness, some let's plays. I have a little something for everybody. And while you're at it, maybe go share some of your favorite videos of mine with your friends. We could always use more friends on the channel. And until next time, bye! I do not know why there was a doppelganger or doppelgangers in my house. I don't want to know. All I know is if you go based off of myth, I'm very happy none of us saw our own doppelgangers. Because that never ends well, apparently. Fun times!